there's rain, there are clouds, there is the soft beach wind, there are people. A lot of people. People you don't know, people you've just met, people you might never see again in your life, but also people you will be friends with for a lifetime. Travel is important because it makes you look at the world in another way you used to. You don't just see the world from a totally different perspective, but you also see the world together with total different people you're usually around with. Traveling gets you out of your bubble, your comfort zone. It makes you realize there is so much more in the world than you didn't think of before. And we know the time to travel is never perfect. There are always inconvenient things coming up, like a sick family member, the flight is expensive, or you heard some bad stories about the area, or it is scary to fly alone. There are always things coming up, it's always an excuse, but the biggest thing is that you just have to decide and go. And things will happen to you, things you've never experienced before. It will open up your eyes and give you so much new opportunities in life you will learn from.
I always told myself that I want to go traveling for a long time, so I said I will go next year, but the year after I told myself the same. And every time there was something else, I think I was just too scared to go and to embrace the unknown and to get out of my comfort zone. So it's a big step to actually just go, you know. But I just booked a ticket in the middle of the night and I decided to do something crazy, something that I wasn't used to.
Being young people, most of us have a pretty established comfort zone. At home with mom and dad, in a community that has known you for probably a good part of your life. You have your friends, your activities, hangouts, possibly jobs, all worked out. We become comfortable in these daily roles, and the idea of breaking away from them can be scary and uncomfortable. The problem is, you learn the most from uncomfortable, unfamiliar situations. In our daily routines, you know how to act and to respond to people and your surroundings. Being in a new place with different people who have different values and go about life differently washes all that familiarity away. It can be scary, but once you figure out that you can connect with people despite your differences, and you can navigate foreign environments, you become a smarter, more competent individual. You should embrace the discomfort. You should search for it because it helps you grow.
I think at least the hope when you're traveling is that you want to change for the better and you hope that you kind of grow and learn. I think that most people are traveling to grow as a person and to expand themselves and to perhaps adjust their worldview and to be more open to other people and other viewpoints in the world. I think that traveling is a great way to learn and grow as a person, you know, explore new cultures and make new friends and meet new people.
At first I was not the kind of the person who liked changes and who liked going abroad and stuff, but now I'm here, then I just have to adjust myself to situations. So that's one of the biggest points I learned about myself. I'm not that insecure anymore, so traveling is a really good way to achieve that.
I think learning about things and yourself shouldn't be the main reason to go traveling. The reason should be to have fun and to enjoy your time abroad. So I think you will learn along the way by allowing yourself to actually do this.
The problem of traveling nowadays is that people want to go to so many places. They want to visit too much at once, just to see as much of the world and to tell everyone they saw everything, but they don't learn anything from it. They just take pictures, selfies, and post them online. There's actually so much more to discover than that, and you just need to take the time for yourself to let those other experiences in and make an impression on you. Traveling is not about sharing the amazing places you've been through on social media. It's about experiencing yourself and sharing them with people who are actually next to you while you are amazed by a gorgeous sunset. The best way to get to know people is to explore together. The funny thing is, while traveling, you're doing nothing else than exploring all the time. You explore the beach together, an abandoned island, the jungle, dirty hostels, spicy food, local food, sickness or crowded cities. You spend hours in a crappy bus, waiting for a boat and wandering around the city to look for a cheap place to stay. You've spent much more time together than those years you spent with all your friends in college. When you add up all the new experiences you shared, it's more than high school and college combined. You've seen more cities with them than anyone in your family. Not to mention, you've probably done more crazy and naive things with them than with your wildest of college roommates. There was a time you were truly alive. You were this new person in this new place with absolutely no limits. You were letting this new adventure melt you into the adult you're still to become. And those people were right beside you. They were there when you thought about life and your future after visiting the killing fields of Cambodia. They debated with you about the hardest moments in your life and not giving up despite that. They told you could become the best version of yourself once you get back home.
I met people who literally changed my life. I met friends who I know better than I know my own family. And this is because when you travel, you discover a lot about yourself and how to adjust to others. You learn a lot from each other and their personalities, and you figure out to get along with it. Once there was this older woman I traveled with for a long time. She had worked for 30 years at the same company, and one day she decided to escape her routine life and to start traveling for a while. And I think her stories are an eye-opener, and I think everyone in the world can learn something from her mindset and her courage to do this.
I think that the difference between friends that you make at home and friends that you make while traveling is that it's easier to get to know someone quicker while traveling because you have so much free time while you're traveling. At home, everyone seems to be preoccupied with work or school or just common everyday distractions. So the time you spend with people may or may not be, the quality times, or at least not so much of it at the same time. When you meet someone traveling, you really have pretty much nothing but free time. And so it's very easy to get to know someone and kind of, you have a common bond, especially if you're from, you speak the same language, or if you're from maybe the same area. It's easy to get to know someone, I think, so easier to get to know them quicker. When you're backpacking, you only find the good in common. You only see the best in each other. And I think it's a very important thing for young people and old people alike to travel and build bridges and relationships that promote peace and goodwill.
Also, being alone is an important part of your travel. Traveling with friends, family, or people you've just met on your travel is completely wonderful and incomparable. There really is nothing like sharing new experiences with the best company. However, sometimes traveling solo can provide you with an experience that will change your view about yourself and teach you valuable life skills that you could not have gained otherwise. It is amazing if you have the opportunity to make every decision yourself, to choose everything you want. You do not depend on other people and you don't have to adjust yourself to others all the time. It's a known fact that any trip with others includes a minimum of 1 hour spent arguing about where to go next. Some things you might be interested in doing may not interest your travel companions and vice versa. Each person has their own tastes and places they want to see or experience. When you're alone, on the other hand, you can be as selfish with your time as you like. You can wake up whenever you want, eat wherever you want, see what you want to see. The choice is up to you.
I've learned a lot about being alone and the fact that you can handle a lot of situations even if you wouldn't think you're capable of doing it. And that at the same time, while you travel, you're never really alone, even if you think you are, because you meet so many great people on the way.
When you're traveling alone, you get a lot of time to notice and cherish little beautiful things about nature that you didn't have the time to look at before. Sunsets, ocean waves, fresh breeze, chirping of the birds. All these seem outstanding when you spend your time traveling. Normally you're busy enjoying it with your friends or a family member. You're talking to them, maybe even worrying about them, whether they are enjoying their time as well. But when you're alone, you don't have to talk to someone else who distracts you. You just look at the fascinating nature or the big city. You just take the time to let this make an impression of you, and only this. People who take on the role of being nurturers in the family, communities and jobs often put their well-being last. Who they are and what they love can easily be pushed aside for what other people want or what other people need. Someone like this might struggle to pursue anything on her own because me time feels like self-indulgence, neglect, or flat-out selfishness. If this goes unnoticed, you can forget what it is that you actually love when it's not set on making other people happy.
You really need to be confident and think that you know what you're doing, even if you don't. And if you travel alone, you encounter a lot of situations that you can never predict, and you just have to go with the flow and react at that specific moment and trust that it's gonna be fine in the end.
I started backpacking a very long time ago, and it was not the amazing thing where everyone told me about. I was feeling alone in the beginning and I didn't like to be alone. But everyone told me that it would be good for me and I would learn a lot from it. And I guess I did. I learned a lot, but it didn't make me happy at all. I saw a lot of the world, but I wasn't able to enjoy it because I felt alone all the time. For me, it's really, really good to travel in a group with people you don't know in the beginning, but to start a journey with them and to become really close friends. For me, traveling in a group was in the beginning a really great way to travel to the world and to see things.
Traveling alone or backpacking is not the same for everyone. Go explore the world in different ways and find out what for you as a person is the best way to enjoy the beauty of the world.
Traveling doesn't have to be expensive. There are a lot of ways to see the world. When I was in Australia, I was out of money. I already saw a lot of the world, but I wasn't ready to go back to my small little world back home. So I decided to look for a job, and I worked for a couple of months on a farm and I made a lot of money to travel there. Traveling takes a lot of creative ways to make it happen.
I think money shouldn't be an excuse to not travel, because nowadays there are so many cheap deals to go somewhere, and it's completely up to you how you will spend your money. You can go from a cheap hostel, but you can also have a luxe resort, so money isn't a big deal.
I started my trip in Prague because I actually took a TEFL course, which is teaching English as a foreign language. So I got my certification to teach English, so in case I ran out of money while traveling, I could get a job teaching English somewhere.
Don't let anything stop you from discovering yourself, the world, and the beauty of new experiences. There's so much more that is able to make an impression on you than your familiar life would. Don't let any borders stop you from discovering more of the world. Choose to see more and to be more.